This is a workshop, by the way, yeah? Which means I'm not just going to be talking, but whoever wants to try out something new, which we're going to launch in Bitcoin main chain just shortly before Bitcoin Plus Plus in Vienna, the economics edition in 2 weeks, you can do it now. So this is the new credit layer on top of Bitcoin, built to the exactly same ethos as Bitcoin itself. No banking bullshit, no compliance bullshit, no company, just a protocol. All peer-to-peer, all cypherpunk. And this is the thing which is missing for Bitcoin monetization. And I'll explain to you today how this will work. And I'll show you. So let's go a little bit into the agenda today. I'll just ask you, let's say, fundamental question. And I want you afterwards to really understand what medium of exchange means and why it's so important, and that we really have neglected it in the past, let's say, 10 years. Ever since 2015, we totally neglected medium of exchange. I'll show you a supply chain on Bitcoin rails and present some 4 options what that will change for Bitcoin treasury companies. Bitcoin treasury companies, which are very passive balance sheet investors today, but Bitcoin will move very differently once the new network goes live. And as I said, we'll spend 15 minutes in a live demo. So this is not fake, this is all live, and you will be all doing it too if you want. No force, but if you want to enjoy it, do. So just a little bit of philosophy. Yeah? I think the important thing is, in these days of everybody being so proud of being compliant and getting regulations and MiCA, why are we doing this? Yeah? Are we doing it for NGO? That's nice. Yeah? Are we doing it for generational wealth? That's a little bit more, let's say, altruistic. But many of us still want to do it to fix the money and to fix the world. So I think this is what it's all about. And when we talk about monetization, it's very important to understand what it actually is. The monetization of Bitcoin essentially will mean that, like gold before 1913, Bitcoin will rise to its fundamental value because it needs to replace, together with the credit layer, 70 to 80 trillion dollars in money in the world. Some share of that will be Bitcoin. The rest will be Bitcredit. Yeah? The roadblock to doing this is that essentially the fiat system has, let's say, castrated production businesses to do what they're doing best, which is doing proof of work and creating liquidity from it. And so to say, what I'm talking about is how to get there. Some people saying, oh yeah, we just need to wait, it's inevitable, we're going to be there anyway. It's not. Yeah? So if you don't do anything, people might lose interest and we might even lose the store value proposition. Yeah? Some people think, well, we just need to educate more, but there are fantastic educator organizations in Bitcoin. Mi Primer Bitcoin, Plan B, they're all doing a super job. So no, we need to write code. Before I talk about that, I'll play to you a video which I hope you can hear, but it has subtitles, so let's just do that. This is about Vienna after the Second World War, 1 year after. Almost no production, almost no goods. Vienna completely bombed down, nobody had money, and they had to revert to barter. Every time you wanted to go shopping, you needed to pick something out of value which you think somebody might need, yeah, and try to get your daily food. In this case, he wants to get a breakfast egg for Councillor Geiger, he's called. And now, look what he's doing. So he goes to the lady, the farmer who produces eggs. Here's the tailor. Doesn't need the vase either. Yeah. Now he needs a mannequin. His aunt died, so he needs a wreath for the funeral. He needs a bathtub. She needs a cockatoo. She has a cockatoo. Yeah? So, goes back the whole chain, gets a breakfast egg, and see what happens. So the egg's not fresh anymore. Once you have barter, you use so much time. Goods spoil, eggs spoil, fruit spoils, anything spoils. Even clothes spoils when they come out of season. Now, that means you can imagine, since we lose about 50% of our time in a primitive barter economy, just to find somebody to buy us and to exchange, that GDP immediately collapses. Not even considering all the value you lose while exchanging along that chain. And that's why Ludwig Mises said, a man holds money only because he wishes to exchange it against other goods at a later date, medium of exchange. And to us today, this sounds weird. Yeah? We hear about the story, Bitcoin ETFs, we must do it in ETFs, we must treasuries, and must hold Bitcoin in cold wallet. Bullshit. Once Bitcoin monetizes, it will flit around the globe in finality of transactions. Money will be economized. You will hold only exactly as much as you need to do your purchases in the foreseeable future. That's what it is. So how does this work now on the Bitcredit protocol? We start, so if I'm a banker, I'm an economist. Yeah, I know many people in Bitcoin, so to say, buy into this central bank narrative that's all the bankers' fault or the politicians' narrative. But banks will be needed in Bitcoin, and Hal Finney said so right after the launch of Bitcoin. We will need Bitcoin banks. This is actually not banks, this is mints. There's a big difference. I'll come to that. Banks must be intermediaries of money, never ever create money. So this is how it really starts. So a seller sells something to a buyer in a supply chain, but the buyer doesn't have the Bitcoin yet. Yeah? So he needs credit to bridge the time until the logistics happen, the production happens, the sale happens, and it goes to the buyer. So he ships goods, and gets in return a so-called bill of exchange, which says, I promise to pay you in 30, 60, 90 days, whenever you have it done. But that's a very, very hard obligation. It's in all the law in the world since 1913, because there was a United Nations, actually League of Nations, convention, which standardized this all over the planet. The next thing, and this is so to say the novelty of Bitcredit protocol, you don't have to go to a bank anymore and give them bill of exchange and says, oh, here, I give you the bill of exchange, and you please give me Bank of England notes from the monopolist so I can pay my things. That's not what we're doing anymore. Being Bitcoiners, we can cryptographically snip the bill of exchange into Satoshi-sized pieces into a form which is a new form of eCash we had to develop, a non-custodial eCash. Yeah, there's already several flavors of eCash. Let me not go into detail. But the Wildcat mints do exactly that. They snip the bill of exchange into Satoshi-sized pieces, which you can use as the seller immediately for liquidity, to pay your suppliers, to pay your workers, to pay your bills. And once you have this eCash, the stuff can flit around. It's all peer-to-peer, no server. eCash has de facto almost unlimited capacity, in the sense if the capacity is narrow, you just add another mint somewhere. Done, you get capacity again. It's totally private, totally uncensorable, and the transaction cost is de facto zero. You only have it to avoid denial of service contracts. And last, when the bill of exchange after 60, 30 days is paid, that e-bill is torn apart, and the credit satoshis are replaced by debit satoshis. So that's the wholesale money part. That's for businesses, for exporters, importers, and that's the retail part. That's for all of us, even for normies. So the Bitcredit wallet is not written for Bitcoiners, it's for everybody. And you can try it out in a moment. So that's how it works. This is a slide I got thanks to Tom. We talked about it, and this I like it very much. It's very simple. So what happens, just showing you, farmer wants to sell, let's say, cocoa beans, gets paid by the cooperative with a bill of exchange, which is for 30, 60, 90 days, goes immediately to the mint, gets spendable Satoshi. Cooperative ferments the cacao, packs it, whatever. Once it's done, he sells it to the grinder. Grinder pays with a bill of exchange, 30, 60, 90 days. Cooperative goes to a wildcat mint, mints it into little Satoshi, uses, let's say, 1,000 Satoshi to pay the farmer's bill, but he had already the liquidity, the medium of exchange, which is necessary to move the supply chain. And the rest, the cooperative can use to pay their workers, their suppliers. Grinder now has the beans, he grinds, roasts, or whatever, sells it to the brand. Brand pays with a bill of exchange, 30, 60, 90 days, splits it, pays that bill of exchange. So all of a sudden, Bitcoin is not stuck anymore at the retail channel. Yeah? We don't go to a merchant, and the merchant needs to exchange back into fiat because the bloody supply chains run on the fiat stuff. Not needed anymore. So, what does it mean for Bitcoin treasury companies? Currently, they hold Bitcoin passive on cold wallets, but in the future, it will change. First of all, the bill market until 1913 was the largest. It was a huge money market where big corporations with liquidity reserves invested, bought bills of exchange, forever how long they had, whenever they had too much liquidity, to optimize the return on their cash. It sounds strange to you, it may sound completely weird, because, oh no, we hold Bitcoin for value appreciation. No. Once Bitcoin rose to its value, it will stabilize, just like gold was stable for centuries, for millennia. Yeah? So you can earn a discount by buying the bill a bit cheaper. After 30, 60, 90 days, you get the full amount and you have a yield on Bitcoin. The other thing you can do is, if you're a Bitcoin treasury, you can simply lend out your liquidity or whatever you have on the balance sheet to such wildcat mints, because they need it for total finality of bills of exchange. Every single bill of exchange must be on Bitcoin main chain, because otherwise you go back to the banking system where you can't prove anything. Now we know on Bitcoin main chain whether somebody has paid all the bills, for how many years, for how much volume, and that's available so that people build a perfect credit history, so I know with whom I'm trading, and then I can rely on that person. And by the way, the law is fairly harsh if you don't pay one of these things. If you're just 2 days too late, you go to court, you immediately get a court title. That's very different to anything else, and you will have the executioner coming to you and take your factory, your machinery, your dog, your wife, not the wife, but anyway, so you just, whatever. The other two options are on the equity side. So you can, in such a system, since bills of exchange can default, they rarely do, but when they do, you must not rug the people who pay with bit credit. Yeah? You can't do that. That was the downfall of the free banking area in the 50 countries where they had free banking for many, many, many years. George Selgin wrote about that. So you must avoid that ever that happens again, because otherwise the politicians will get back in power. They'll play, yeah, we'll save you guys, and we just need a few regulations and all will be good. No. So what you need is a guarantee asset which over-collateralizes the full reserve in the unlikely event that a bill of exchange is dishonored, as they call it. So it's an honor system. Yeah, like any counter-revolutionary system, it's built on honor, not on state violence. So when you invest in this extra 100%, 110%, 120% guarantee layer, you participate effectively in the growth of this second network on top of the Bitcoin network and earn capital gains. And the last option for the more enterprising treasuries, and we already had a couple of treasuries knocking on our door to use the software, it's of course free open source software, yeah? So it's cypherpunk, as I said. So they want to build their own mints in whatever country they're in, whatever specialize it, and they can move the Bitcoin from the investment side of the balance sheet up to the working capital, because all the mints in the world will be connected via Lightning, so Bitcoin will not be boring, sorry Eve. Bitcoin will be flitting around all over the world in something which in banking we call gross real-time settlement. So the mints will never, ever do what was needed in London, that in the end of the day, everybody calculates what everybody is owed by itself, and then a couple of gold coins go left, right, center. Let's do this, yeah? So whoever wants to join, do it. You don't have to, but if you want, you need, after, the Bitcredit wallet. So this is the retail wallet, and ideally, you have a neighbor who is your trading partner. So whoever wants to try this out live, this is, by the way, the first live demonstration I'm giving for this, so it's kind of a historic moment. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but you can try it out. So this is on Apple test flight. They just approved it on Saturday. We had a huge fight. But anyway, now we're on test flight. And this is the retail money, which has the unlimited scaling and the so to say total privacy and censorship approval. And everybody who wants to do it has the app. Who still needs time? Please raise your hand. Okay, I'm waiting. All right, good. Let's move. So now wholesale money. This is the link for the wholesale money. This is a progressive web app because we weren't sure that the app stores wouldn't block us. So this is just a URL you enter. It's testnet 3, so if you're dealing in testnet 3 satoshis. So the URL is testnet-minibuild.tech. And this is the wholesale money which I showed you where the goods, the proof of work of the production sector works. So in future, Bitcoin credit money cannot be created like in fiat for speculation, yeah, and for asset price bubbles. It can be just produced when there are real goods going into the supply chain. The quantity of money always matches the quantity of the value of goods which are for sale in the global supply chains. Anybody still need the code, testnet.minibuild.tech? Are you ready? Now, look at your neighbor who wants to do it. Neighbor, raise your hands. Find two trading partners, please. 2 trading partners. Kush, Tom, trading partner. Who else needs a trading partner? Raise your hand. Nobody else? Okay, you guys do it. You can even trade in 3. So let's do this. Yeah. So this is the wholesale money creation app, and essentially it's credit. It's not money. This is currency. It's not money. Know the difference. Currency is medium of exchange. So we go through here, we click next, and we install it as a PWA on our home screen so that you have a fixed database of all your Bitcoin and Bitcredit on your phone. There's no central server, obviously, in this. And it all runs on Nostr, so no bloody government in the world can block it. So you add this to home screen. It's different on iPhone and on Android. Tom, Kush, do you have it on your home screen? Because otherwise you lose it. So I'll just skip this here. What the hell's going on? 1 second. Yeah, there's an Easter egg here. Now you can act in this thing either anonymous or named. Yeah? So there's no KYC bullshit because the bill of exchange, which is in law all over the world since 1913, says it is a bearer instrument. We were living in a much freer world without mass surveillance. So that's in the law. You are entitled to use the bearer mode. Nobody can block you. But you can only use it if you only receive money. If you want to promise to pay money, you need a personal identity, and we're doing that right now. So please enter your name and some email, which we need for verification, because according to Bill of Exchange law, we must be decently sure, reasonably sure, that the party we are paying to is who it is we say it is. And it's not difficult because the guy's supposed to ship goods to us, yeah? So there is none of this bullshit which comes up with the intermediaries. So I'll enter my full name here. Happens to be Hubertus, the Austrian. Whoops. I enter some personal email of mine, let's say whatever. Actually, I use my real email. Feel free to write to me if you want. So that's hjh@bitcr.com. I continue. Now, the only thing which you need to give when you do a bill of exchange is your address. That's how the paper bill of exchange with wet ink was. You just say, I'm from Austria. By the way, I'm an Austrian economist from Austria, so that's very easy to remember. Let's do some zip code, and we say we're in Prater number 1. Done. Now the rest is all optional, which you may need if you want a Mint to accept you as a client, but that depends on the Mint. Anybody can download the Mint software, it's free, it's open source, you can modify, you can do whatever you want. Anybody can start up a Mint who wants to do that. We just skip this, yeah? We verify the email, 1 second. So, where is it? Oh, fuck. Excuse me, guys. I didn't even know my own email. Excuse me. So it's bitcredit.org. Getting in corporate mode here. So I do it again. I skip the optional. I wait for the email. You guys got your email? Sorry, I'm slower than you guys. It's connecting. Very slow email here. Fuck, the demo gods are against me. For you guys it worked, right? Fuck. Excuse me, let me leave this and start anew. This will take no time. So 1 second, we go here, file. No, it's, where do we go? File, new private window. So we go testnet, minibuild.tech, we skip this, we enter personal identity, create new identity, Hubertus, Hubertus DA, and we say now a proper email, hjh@bellevue.cc, proper email, go there, continue, Austria, sorry guys, I'll be very quick, Vienna, 1020, Prater, 1, go. So we skip that, we wait for the code, now hopefully it should come. This is fucked. Excuse me. Oh, there we are. Thanks. So it's 9995 217. I verified it. I agree to the terms. I sign. And by the way, if you sign on a bank today for a business account, it can take weeks and months. Yeah, they will ask you for everything about your business: what you do, why you do, where you do, what did your mother, what did your grandmother, why did she have a dog? Yeah, and everything, of course, with triple. So 2 minutes and you're on. So this is the basic screen. You can always see how many bills you have to pay, how many you will get paid, and how many. Now we're issuing a bill of exchange. I have a company here already on my phone. You two guys do it together. The first thing I need to do is, the first thing I need to do is I need to show my QR code to my wallet on my mobile. So I add myself as a contact. New contact is the second item on the bottom, down here. Yeah, and one of you needs to show the QR code to the other. And add yourself as a contact. So I scan a QR code, allow the camera. Yeah, so now I have Hubertus the Austrian as a contact on my phone. And now what I can do, let's assume that Hubertus the Austrian delivers goods to a company which I have set up here on my phone, which is called the Madrid Brewing Company. So I have an identity here, which is Madrid Brewing Company. So every person can have as many companies as they want. And what I now do is down here, I have 3 possibilities. Here I will now pay the Madrid Brewing. Yeah, okay, I'll be almost done, yeah? So you just enter how many days of credit you want. For instance, you pay in 60 days, you confirm, pay to Austrian, 1,500 Satoshi, whatever. The payer is, oh fuck, I need the contract. Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost done, so give me 1 moment. So I scan the QR. Yeah, so that's Madrid Brewing Company. I issue the bill to the Madrid Brewing Company. I can upload a commercial invoice, whatever, and be done with it. I preview that. I sign it electronically, and it's done. Yeah? And the last thing I need to do is as soon as I request the brewery to accept, it will get via Noster, assign the request to accept, and they will get via Noster, here's the bill, a request to sign that bill of exchange that they will pay. And from that moment onwards, I sign it. Yeah, it goes through Noster to this e-bill once I confirm my signature. Done, almost done. And now you can see already here it's been accepted. And now there are all these options, which I can't show you anymore because we're running out of time, excuse me. And the important one is you can mint this bill by asking Wildcat 1 to split it, or any Wildcat, to split it into little Satoshis. So Wildcat 1 now needs to think about your risk, quotes you a thing, and sends you back little Satoshis. I guess we're out of time, right? Once you have those, you can immediately transfer them into the wallet and spend it immediately. Private, non-confiscable, instant, unlimited scaling. So it's a lie that Bitcoin can only do 7 transactions a second and Visa can do 42,000, because now Bitcoin can do almost infinite transactions. Thank you.